Hello traders, and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 40. It's Iliya here, and as always we're going to have a look at how the market developed this week and how we're going to crush the next week. So it was an extremely volatile week. It started with massive gaps, really a lot of confusion. We didn't know what was happening. I waited till Tuesday, Wednesday, then I took some little losses. One was on GU, I'm gonna show you, and then I just decided to let that week go because with everything that is happening right now around the world, especially with the coronavirus, the markets are super volatile, and I would say it's very difficult to scalp the market or to day trade because there are a lot of sharp moves, a lot of manipulation. Sometimes we have a little bit of a slowdown, then a quick spike, and then the market goes. So it's much better to obtain a more of a swing trading perspective to such market conditions. Try to read the fundamentals and like what is going to happen according to the fundamentals, like the stock market is dropping and what does that imply for the US dollar, for example. So as always, we're going to have a look at the technicals and try to spot some potential opportunities and to see how the market developed, which is quite educational in my opinion. So let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I post weekly analysis, educational content, and live trading will be much often occurrence. So make sure to smash the subscribe button to support the channel. I've been asked a lot about services, courses, and mentorship. So I came up with a new website that you can check in the link below. And if you're interested to learn from me or to have my masterclass, make sure to check it out. And let's get straight into the video now. As always, starting from the DXY, the US dollar currency index weekly time frame. So just look at the candle. This is massive volume, massive bullish pressure. So it found support at 96, that key level of 96. As you can see, why is that reddish? Just give me a second. Okay, so we found support at that level right here. Price opened quite bearish. It looked like it's going to push down, but again found some support from the left right here, and then we had a pretty strong bullishness on the dollar. So just looking at that weekly candle, we would immediately say yes, this is buy bias. However, we have this massive push to the downside, and this looks like a pullback. But what I spotted during the week, and that's why I did not short the dollar, is that when the market opened here, the gap was filled, right? Then we had a little push to the downside. Let me delete that line. And the price, if you understand structure, the market just started to trend up, right? So we had this higher low, then we had the higher high, then we had the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So the market never broke structure. It never broke the bullish structure in order to introduce some bearishness into the market. For example, if we had a break of this higher low, then we would have had a retest potentially or a lower high, and then the market should have dropped. However, we did not have this, and the market just continued to push to the upside. And I spotted this and I said, okay, we're having a bullish dollar, so let's look for shorts on the USD pairs. So as for the dollar, I will monitor my last kind of structure, which is right here. We can take all the wicks as well. This is our last higher low, and I want to see how the market will react and will stay above it. Extremely bullish pressure. We really don't know how the market is going to open with that bullish pressure, but if I start seeing change of momentum and a shift of the trend, then I will be for sure looking for shorts, because as you can see, we were looking for shorts at the beginning of the week because it was pretty clear that the momentum is down. I was waiting for a lower high, but the lower high was here. Price pushed down, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then I'm immediately switching to bull bias. So for the DXY, I am still remaining buy bias until I see otherwise. We might have a little bit of a pullback here, maybe a fib level, and the market may continue or it might shift. So let's make sure to follow structure. Euro USD weekly time frame. So we had kind of the similar situation here with the DXY, but with the opposite. So 1.15 came very close to get tapped, and this was the level I was looking at in order for the market to pull back, but it actually reversed from here. So the weekly candle is pretty bearish. It's not a bearish engulf because we had a gap first to the upside, then we pushed us higher here, maybe to grab more orders, to grab more liquidity, and the week ended up pretty bearish. So the lows of like the price action is around here at 1.08, and right now we're creating a high at 1.15. So dropping to the daily time frame to see what is happening, it looks like a very strong push to the upside and currently giving us the pullback. So Is Euro USD gonna reverse? We don't know, because if we drop this daily Fibonacci, we see that the market is coming like very close to the 61.8% just by a few pips. First we had the rejection, then we had the rejection fill, the wick fill, and again it left a rejection. So taking all of this information into consideration and dropping to the 4-hourly time frame and just removing everything to keep a clean chart, but always know what are you looking at and where is price. So I would drop this little line right here at 1.1050, which is a key level in the market. And as you can see, this was very similar to the DXY. We just had lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. What I want to see on this market is a structural shift in order for me to buy the market. If the market pulls back to that trend line, creates a lower high, given the rejections, I will short it. But I will short it maximum to the lows right here. Or if I see a potential, if I see a strong close below 1.1050, then I will hold the trade. But we might have a little bit of an invalidation here, maybe a break of the last lower high, then maybe a retest of the trend line, double bottom or a higher low, head and shoulders formation as well might be a setup, and we might have a reversal. So let's be mindful. There are two scenarios for Euro USD. Make sure to keep in mind that we are sitting at a 61.8% FIP after a massive push. There is a pullback. The daily pullback creates bearish structure on the 4-hourly and on the lower time frames. But if we spot the structural shift right now, it will be perfect to take some longs as well. As for now, I remain short bias until I see a shift of the structure. Euro JPY weekly time frame. So this price came very close to 116, as you can see, just like a few pips right here back into the weekly lows right here where it found support, right? So we had a pretty nice selling pressure right here, but then the buyers just came in and pushed the market all the way up, closing as a bullish engulf. So taking this into consideration, we can start looking for buys. And even on the daily, we can see that we had a double bottom right here, and the daily is closing above the last lower high. As you can see here at 119.0 almost, price broke and closed above. So this is pretty nice to see, because we are potentially having a reversal. And if we drop down to the 4-hourly time frame, we see how the market gapped right here, almost filled the gap, bearish engulf, but we had a rejection, fill of the rejections, massive spike into the lows right here to grab the final liquidity. Then the market pushed us up, but we were still in a bear bias market, right? So we just filled the gap, wick, short opportunity here, stop hunt again. This is why it's not nice to scalp right now. Stop hunt again, then push to the downside, final liquidity grab here on the hourly time frame, triple top. As you can see, then we had the break to the downside. And then the market pushed to the downside again, dropped us into the lows right here at 116.5. Rejection, 1, 2, 3 formation, bullish engulf, spike. A lot of sellers came in, but then the market just continued rallying up to the upside, breaking above this area. And currently, I look at this market as pretty bullish. So what I can do is I can just drop our good old FIP and see where the market may come back to retest. 50% is exactly at this wick, which I really like. And we just might have a little bit of a retracement back to the 50%, to the 61.8%. It's hard to find an area for the market to pull back, especially on the hourly time frame, which is creating a beautiful uptrend. But as on the 4-hourly, I will just wait for the pullback. And how I will identify a higher low? Well, just a 4-hourly rejection, a little bit of a structure shift on the hourly time frame, and I then will drop down to look for my confirmations on the lower time frames. So for now, Euro Yen bullish bias. Aussie USD weekly time frame, it is creating very fresh lows, because if I scroll, we can see that the price was last here at 2008. So it's been a very long time since price hasn't visited these areas. And if we draw like a little zone like this just to catch the wicks, we can see that price is entering into this very strong demand area. Just look, when the price came in here, it consolidated for, I would say, for a few months, or what is it? 150 days. And then it created a massive uptrend. So price is currently entering into this area. I usually do not trade support and resistance like this, but it's pretty interesting to monitor how the market is going to react from this area. So extremely bearish price action. As you can see, the week opened right here, I believe, 9th of March, with some massive spikes. So it was pretty confusing to understand what is happening with the market. But as you can see right now from the daily, we just created a lower low. And keeping in mind that we have that very strong demand area, we have 0.61, which hasn't been hit yet. And on the 4-hourly time frame, so what did we have? We had this massive spike to the upside. Price filled the gap, left a nice wick above, which stopped out all the people that were short. Then we continued to the downside, lower high, beautiful lower high right here with this is 12 hours of rejection, bearish engulf, and then we have plenty of opportunities to the downside. Massive flush, a little pullback, again another lower high, and then the market continued to drop to create a new lower low. So pretty simple. I would like to see another lower high. For now, I will remain sell bias because as you can see, it's pretty obvious that it is going down. And as always, I will monitor structure for potential changes. Sometimes the market can do this. It might break up a little bit to that zone. It might look like it's going down, but it might find support at this left shoulder, which creates a beautiful head and shoulders, and we can head up. But we shall see how the market is going to open. As for now, I am sell biased because the structure just tells me so. So let's see if this will continue to flush down. Aussie JPY, pretty confusing price action actually. As you can see on the weekly, we had a massive bearish move right here. We had a little pullback the previous week, and this week gap down, did not fill the gap and just plummeted to the downside, taking 64,500 was the last level that price stopped, and we have plenty of key levels around this area. So that's from the weekly. What I can see is this low right here that may be subject to retest. So then I will drop to the daily time frame, and as you can see, the gap is exactly right here at that area. So the price may come up here to test that area to fill the gap, and then we might have the flush. So we had a pretty strong rejection to the downside here. Then price consolidated, pushed to the downside to fill that wick, and the last day closed like a little bit bullish with wick on top, which is not very good. And trying to break down the 4-hourly structure, guys, it is pretty confusing. So we had the gap down, we had a massive here wick, I don't know what that was. Then we had a pullback again, similar to I believe it was euro yen. Yeah, exactly. They're pretty positively correlated. We had spike, another spike, but see that how it was failing to break above this area. Then we had the push to the downside, a lower low, a little push here to create a little lower high. Then we had another push, and right now the market is still kind of confusing. So I can see that the market is reacting from this sort of an area right here at 67,500. So I want to monitor how the market is going to behave below it. So on the hourly time frame, as you can see, why this area is strong, we had spike right here, support, retest, break, almost a retest, nice spike to the highs right here, bearish spike, bearish spike. So this area, the more it gets tested, the weaker it becomes. So we might have a little pop up to the upside, a retest of 67,500, and then maybe it will take us to 70.0 to fill the gap. So let's see if that will happen, because the market is totally unclear for now. We are overall looking for sells. So if the market pushes back to fill this wick potentially, to leave us more rejection from that area, maybe give us a little like a little sell bias, like on the hourly time frame, as it is right here. This is usually what I wait for: a break of the structure, a retest, double top, and then we can look for shorts. We did not have a clear short right here, but this was exactly at the end of the day. So that's AJ. Let's just follow structure, and then we might potentially pull back to 70.0. NZD USD weekly time frame. So I have been avoiding the NZDs just because they're pretty unclear. So what did we have here? A massive bearish engulf right here with a wick on top at 64, 0.64, even 64,500 to the pip. Pretty nice bearish pressure. If we look on the left, price hasn't been here since 2009, so nothing to look at for this one. Potentially a weekly area right here, as you can see how the market found a little bit of a support from that weekly low right here, support. Then we had this bullish candle, and then the market plummeted this week. Daily time frame, again, that ugly scenario here with this massive wick. This was so massive. So right now price is attempting to fill that wick, as you can see, because when we're leaving such huge wicks, the price has to adjust, because just leaving a huge wick like that will not work. The market cannot reverse after that wick, and it will flush to the downside, and it's looking like it created a new lower low. So going to the 4-hourly time frame, we see that we had pretty nice, actually similar to AU. We had this first double top here, 1 2 3 formation, evening star. So this is how we should trade the markets right now, like allow bigger stop losses like this and then trail the market down depending on the fundamentals. So the NZD usually goes down with Aussie, and we can see that it plummeted actually. So we broke the structure through a little retest right here, bearish engulf, quick lower high again right here, a pretty nice opportunity, and then we flushed to the downside, attempting to fill that whole wick. So still, as I said, very similar to AU, I am looking for sales on this one until I see otherwise. I want to see how the market is going to behave below the last lower high. If there is a scenario of breaking the last lower high and coming back for a retest, I will be for sure looking for longs. But as for now, I want to see the lower high and maybe a last push to the downside to take out the lows, to take out 0.60, and then we can readjust and we can start looking for some pullbacks. So that's on NU. Again, pretty similar to AJ is NZD-JPY. We're having a massive wick to the downside right here with the bottom of 61,300, let's say. Yeah, such a massive spike. And if I take this low right here, that could be a potential retest area. And then I drop to the daily time frame. You can see that we gapped lower again, filled the gap actually, as you can see. If you look at my crosshairs, it perfectly filled the gap. A little bit of a bearish candle continuation, but actually the last day closed as a bullish engulf. If you see, it did not engulf the complete candle, but actually it is pretty nice to see. So 4-hourly time frame, it is pretty choppy. So we had this bullish action right here, then the market broke. It came to retest actually here the last kind of structure, the last higher low, retested, wick, bearish, but it failed to continue to the downside. And then we had a little break above this little structure, a little retest, and it's looking like it's trying to pop up to the upside, but it's failing for now. So I really want to see how this market is going to behave right now. Just a little Fibonacci, we can see that it is closing above the 61, breaking below, again closing above. 78.6 is crucial for this price. And first, before entering a trade on this one, I want to see clear structure. I would either want to see a bearish move just to tell me who is in charge of the market, or a bullish move which is going to break this kind of structure. So pretty unclear market right here. If I delete everything for now, make sure to do this analysis, but if I do this, it will become much clearer for you guys. So let's wait for a break and retest. USD CAD weekly time frame, it's like a rocket going to Mars. So we had a massive gap to the upside, and even at the beginning of the week I was looking price up here and I was like, is that a glitch, is that trading view? But then I saw it's a gap for real. So what was wrong with that market is that a lot of people were looking for sales, a lot of people were trying to get that price down to fill the gap, but the market makers knew this. And if you carefully look at structure, guys, again, this is why I trade structure, because we had a high, higher low, higher high, higher low. From this point on, we had a high and we had a new higher low while people kept shorting. Why? We're having bullish structure for the whole week, right? So this is actually like, if we ignore all of this price action and we do like this, just imagine this as being an uptrend. So we keep buying until we see otherwise. So just the last day, so I did not do my top down analysis. Let's have but we don't have anything to look. So we have 4 days of bullish action, and then the last day is a little bit bearish. So taking again into consideration this and looking at the 4-hourly time frame, what we saw the last day is that the market attempted to make a new higher high, but left a nice wick here on top, and then we had a pretty strong profit taking, actually pretty strong bear engulf. What I want to see in this market, this is a pretty like roll trend line, or not just adjusted perfectly. I don't use usually trend lines, but what I want to see, guys, is a break below. The last structure could be considered to be like this, something like this. I can see there's a little zone around here. So let's see how the market is going to continue to break that trend line, and then we might come back for a retest just to create a lower high, and then I think that's when the downside will get exposed, and that's when we're going to fill the wick. So a little tip from me, when you look for reversals, always look for the structure shift first, because that is your higher probability trade, instead of trying to catch the top, which you don't know if it's going to be the top. So right now it looks like pretty clear. 1.40 almost got tapped, massive bearish engulf. I'm waiting for a structure shift, lower high, and then to sell the market. USD Swissy, let's see what do we have on this market. So we had a pretty nice lower low right here. We had a spike to the downside, 0.92 got fulfilled, and the week closed actually pretty bullish. I just want to drop a little weekly region right here and then drop to the daily time frame. So as you can see on the daily, we had a little double bottom right here, massive bullish introduction. We broke, but actually we did not have a clear retest. And if you have a look at that whole move, like I can draw a little fib. And yeah, the 61.8 and the 78.6 are actually sitting around this area, which is 0.96. So we had pretty nice confluences like of this region that it might give us some some potential short opportunities. So if I have a look on the 4-hourly though, just look at the structure again. We're having an uptrend for now, and we haven't had a single indication of price reversing. So just dropping this, why do I need a trend line? I don't. So I will delete the fibs in order to keep it clean, and I know that this is my area of confluence right here from the daily time frame. What I want to see on this market is a strong bearishness breaking. It will be perfect if it breaks a previous higher low, so the market might push up a little bit to the downside, might spike to the upside right here to catch like all the orders to get into that liquidity spot. Then we might give us a little reversal and then might pull back for some sort of a head and shoulders lower high, and that's when we might have the push to the downside. So let's be patient on this one. Let's see what is going to happen, and I advise you again to be careful with the structure. Until you see a shift of structure, don't try to jump into shorts, because we might have another higher low at the beginning of the week and the price may give us a final long opportunity into that area. So let's see how the market is going to open, and this will be a pretty interesting area to watch for potential retests and for potential shorts. UJ weekly time frame, pretty volatile as well as all the pairs. We had a gaps, market spiked massively to the downside, fulfilled almost 101, and then pushed us. What is this? 700 pips? I'm not sure. I think it's 700 pips. Yep, 700 pips. So that is a lot, guys. So on the daily time frame, we had this pretty like steady uptrend. Then the market just broke all that uptrend in the matter of 2 weeks. So you see how powerful sometimes the shorts can be. For now we're having that pullback, very strong pullback. So we can draw a Fibonacci, but if you look at momentum, guys, the momentum is clearly up. It's interesting to see that the market is closing below this exactly here at the 61.8%, and I see like a little area here of potential interaction, tap. Those were actually the last two higher lows of that uptrend that got broken. A little bit of interaction right here, potential retest, and right now the market is here again. So from 4-hourly perspective, we just had the gap to the downside, market flushed down, filled the gap. That's when I thought that, okay, this is going to continue with the overall trend. But it's pretty interesting to see, because we had a member of the community that wanted to short the market right here because he spotted he spotted that the market is rejecting, and he said that is a double top. So I said, yes, this could be a double top. However, do not exclude the possibility that the trend is shifting. We had a push, the momentum is up. We had even a little higher low right here, push, higher low again. And this right now is just finding resistance right here to trick shorts. And this was actually during the night. So I said, let's wait for tomorrow. Let's wait for a few 4-hourly candles. This is 1 o'clock, this is 5 o'clock. So this is when actually I started looking for trades. And as you can see, the market pushed to the downside, chopped up, and during Asia and on London Open, it started to push to the upside. So this immediately told me, okay, buys. But unfortunately, I did not get my buy, because the market just continued to push up straight into this zone, fulfilling the 27 extension almost to the 62. So for this market, it looks pretty buy-biased for now. We might have a little pullback. We might have another Fibonacci sequence like this. As you can see, 50% is perfectly aligning with that zone. However, we are sitting at a daily zone as well. So let's see how the market reacts. We might have a push. We might have a final spike to the upside for a double top, and then we might have a reversal. So this pair will take a little bit of a time because it just pushed up. I would expect a little pullback, but the question is if that pullback is the reversal from that level or if that pullback is the higher low. If you see a higher low, make sure to take the higher low, but take your profits right here at 108, I would say. So that's for UJ. Very interesting pair. I will be for sure monitoring it, and if I see something, I will make sure to shout it out to you guys. Let's have a look at the volatile GBPs. So look at that, guys. GBP USD, just a massive bearish engulf right here. A lot of selling pressure. So if I am to drop a little bit of weekly key areas, well, I can see some right now at 1.22. If you see those 2 wicks right here, that is where the market actually started to kick up. So this could be a level right here, but the market seems like it's closing above. So I will monitor how the market is going to react around here. But from the weekly time frame, we're seeing some massive selling pressure. And yeah, we just had a final spike to the upside right here to stop the people that had their stop losses above. Even if you're swing trading, you're again getting stopped out. Then we had 1, 2, 3 formation, massive bearishness, bear, bear, bear. So the trade I took on this one, let me see if I'm going to see it. Yep, it was exactly from right here. So I believe I was looking for longs even from the previous week, because this was a nice push breaking above the structure. And we had a little Fibonacci right here. As you can see, 78.6 was down here. And I thought that this is at least going to push up for a clear lower high. And yeah, I got into a trade down here. Let me check. Yeah, I'm not sure if I will be able to find it. Yeah, and that pushed to the downside. I think I got into a higher low. Yep, exactly right here, I believe, because we had the manipulation down. This was exactly on London Open. Then we had a higher high, and then I thought, oh, this is our higher low, and we're ready to push up. So I entered roughly around here. The market just pushed a little bit and then dropped massively. And what I saw later when I reanalyzed is that the market created a lower high right here. And then when I tried to enter sales, the market just continued to push to the downside, and sales are entered maybe on the 30 minutes at structures like this, double tops and just slight lower highs. So extreme momentum, guys. I think the momentum is going to continue down, but first we will need a little bit of a pullback. As you can see, with such market conditions, when the momentum is too much, we do not get big pullbacks. As you can see here, it was just 2 candles of pullback. We do not get the clear ones. So what you can do, you can drop a little EMA as well, maybe a fast reacting EMA, and look for those pullbacks. Maybe 24 might get retested, but just looking at the structure, we don't have clear areas for a retest. The last lower high on the hourly was here, where we had this kind of break and retest. So I'm going to wait for another lower high and maybe potentially short the market. Keep in mind that we're extremely low right here, and the market has to pull back to, yeah, the sellers are not going to sell for forever. So we might have a scenario for bulls. But for now, I'm looking for shorts. I'm looking for lower highs. GJ, weekly time frame, bearishness here as well. Similar to GU, it's about to tap into a weekly zone right here, which was a push, a pullback, and this is where this uptrend starts. Pretty strong levels are those, guys. You see, price pushes, pulls back. This is a perfect Fibonacci level. If I'm to illustrate it, yeah, 51.8% zone, 62% fulfilled to the pip. So we're back down here right now, 131.0 wasn't tapped, but yeah, it's pretty bearish. We had a gap fill, bearish push to the downside. Not pretty clear structure actually. We had similar scenario with the GBPs, with the JPY, sorry, push, second push, third push, triple top on the hourly time frame. Nice breakout to the downside. Retest yesterday. I was looking at this area right here for a retest, and as you can see, the market came up here and really consolidated a lot. I was monitoring on the 15-minute. It was spiking up, spike, push, spike, and then the drop. So the market is doing this pretty often, and it's very tricky to get into a very tight entry. But yeah, as for now, the structure is looking pretty bearish. We had a push, lower high. Let's see how the market is going to continue down. Is it going to break this one? We shall see. If it breaks it, then we will for sure wait for a retest back for a lower high. Or if it does not break it, and if it creates a double bottom, then we might look for some reversals as well. So those are the scenarios I will be monitoring. Make sure to keep yourself into the zone. GA, I didn't drop a single look on this one because it's ridiculous. So we had a massive spike massive weekly spike actually. I believe that the market has to fill that wick right now. So because we cannot just have such a strong wick sitting right here. Like if you zoom out the charts, you see we had one here and that wick got filled. So I'm pretty interested to see how the market is going to react. Overall, Very ugly price action, very choppy. I just don't want to have a look at it because it's really hard to understand what is happening. So actually price is reacting from like this supportive region and this resistance region. So let's monitor, let's see what the market is going to do. I believe this wick will get filled. Maybe price will push us a little bit to the highs. It might come back for a retest. It might provide us with a little long opportunity, but I don't believe it will push for forever, and I think we're going to have shorts. However, guys, if the market breaks to the downside, very clearly comes back for a retest, Fibonacci level, lower high, then we might look for shorts. So that's on GA, pretty unclear. I will be looking for more confirmation. And let's see, what do we have? Oh, I have a lot of analysis right here on Euro GBP. Massive bullishness as we have on GU. So as I can see right now, this broke the weekly right here. Little retest, and this week was extremely bullish. Double bottom, which is pretty nice. So I'm looking for buys only on this one. We had a break, we had a little retest, and we had a pretty strong push to the upside. This is some daily area, but this is the only area I see. And on the 4 hourly, I don't trade Euro GBP anymore. That is why I don't have it on my watch list. Choppy, little break, little retest, and then just momentum to the upside. Not clear, as you can see, it's not creating clear structure. To the downside here, it was clear, but right now it is just chopping. So very simple, guys. I will wait for some sort of a pullback, and if I'm you, I will look for a clear higher low that I can understand that this is where the market is going to stop and reverse. So those are for the GBPs, guys. I think we will have some interesting opportunities, but we have to let Monday play out and see where the market is going to go. Gold weekly time frame, very interesting price action, and I'm proud of the team as well because we discussed it multiple times and actually all the analysis played out. So weekly time frame, what is the potential level that the market is reaching? Well, I can see a pretty strong area roughly around here, so we can try to pinpoint an exact area or zone on the lower time frames, but I will not lose time doing this. So just keep in mind that there is a pretty strong area right here that the price is currently maybe testing. But if I'm to break down structure, massive bearish engulf on the weekly, very powerful, and we might have some retest at the beginning of the week at that zone potentially, which if I translate to the daily is this structural point, push, pullback. Final spike to the upside, failing to close above this wick. It was just gathering liquidity, bearish engulf, retest, massive drop. And what was interesting on this market is that we spot the manipulation right here. We said that we are waiting for a pullback for a potential head and shoulders on the hourly time frame. Did not quite make it to the head and shoulders, but we pushed to the downside. Then we had this area that got retested for the first time, second time, third time, fourth time with manipulation, and this was actually the best short opportunity. Some of the guys got stopped out on this one, but then we had multiple re-entries. One was the market, so we had this little zone right here that the market faked out, bearish engulf, retest. We had a little kind of a consolidation, little triangle, I would say, or pennant, whatever you like to call it, something like this. And then we had the momentum to the downside, massive momentum down, little spike, continuation, little pullback, but it's staying below. Spot this, below the lower high, and then a massive spike for the end of the day. Massive on gold. So deleting everything, and just I showed you how the week developed. Let's see what do we have for the next one. I think we're having, where did my weekly area go? Let me just draw this one because it's pretty interesting. Yeah, exactly. So this is an area for a retest. As you can see on the 4 hourly time frame, price pushed down, pulled us back from this area, and then pushed down again. What I want to see is the market to pull me back into this area, and then I will look for further downside. So as for take profit areas, guys, we can find them absolutely everywhere. Price can go back to 1480 as well, maybe around this kind of zone, because I can see a pretty strong area right here. Something like this might be a support. Price is reacting right now from this kind of area right here, which is 1520, 1500s almost got tapped. But I would expect a little bit of a retracement because the selling pressure is far too high, far too big. Let's wait for a pullback, lower high, and then short the market. And just a quick look at US 30, which provided us with multiple short opportunities this week. It fulfilled that Wick here to the downside, massive selling pressure, but then we had a rejection. Did not close 50% of the whole candle, but it's a significant rejection that we have to pay attention to. So daily time frame, the market opened right here, 9th of March, bearish candle pullback and further bearishness. And on the 4 hourly we had this corrective movement. We had the break of this one. We had the perfect retest right here. Oops, not this one. We had a perfect retest right here. Then the market pushed to the downside, pulled us back. Potential lower high right here with the rejection. The market pushed us down, grabs liquidity, perfect opportunity, break to the downside, again breaking below all the structure right here. We had a little interaction right here, but then the market broke. And currently, actually, we are going for a retest of that area, potentially. Fibonacci area, 61.8%. We might spike a little bit higher into the zone, and then the market might give us another short opportunity, maybe a lower low or maybe a double bottom. The stock market is down for now, so until everything is happening with the virus and everything, then we will be looking for shorts. So yeah, I hope you like this analysis, and this is for today, guys. I really hope you found something valuable from the video. If you did, make sure to let me know down in the comments, and what you want to see more as well. Give me some recommendations for videos. What are you struggling with? What you want me to explain? I would be really glad to help you out, guys, because I love doing it. So thank you for staying up until now. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you on my next video. Take care.